you probably heard the term no-code tools. Those are plugins like Elementor or Bricks. While Headless is the king of a pro-code tool, but setting the Headless up in React or Vue.js can be very daunting, especially if you're not familiar or comfortable with using code. PhantomWP tries to merge these two worlds. It makes it easier to use a headless framework, but make it easier to set up. Hi, I'm Next from Text Reviews, a WordPress specialist by day and an educator by night. Before we're going to look into PhantomWP, you need to understand what headless actually is. If Elementor is the suit you wear inside of WordPress, then PhantomWP is the suit you don't wear. It's outside of WordPress. Let me make this visible. Imagine that this is your WordPress website and you have the WordPress dashboard. The WordPress dashboard actually communicates to external database where everything you do within WordPress is saved. If you create a custom post type, it's saved in the database. If you create a user, it's saved in the database. If you create a page, it's saved in the database. I think you get what I'm saying. On the other side, we have Elementor. Elementor is the visible part of your website. And with the normal WordPress setup, this is all connected. But with Headless, it removes the direct access to the front end. Instead of using Elementor, you can use something like React or, in our case, PhantomWP. You can connect those up with something called a REST API. A REST API is nothing more than a link that allows you to fetch data from WordPress. PhantomWP goes through a REST API connection, asks WordPress for a specific kind of thing, and then WordPress fetches it from the database and then sends back to PhantomWP. Now, if you want to read more about it, you can read this article from Automatic on what is headless and when should you use it, because it's not always the best approach. I can see with AI, it can be very tempting to use it, and it's up to you to do so or not. I will leave a link in the description down below. Now that we have an understanding what headless is, we can dive a little bit deeper into PhantomWP. PhantomWP uses a front-end framework called Astro. It's different from what you normally use, like PHP or React for Elementor, the drag and drop interfaces made with React. And the difference between Astro and PHP is that Astro is very lightweight compared to React, which is actually used for making very complex dashboards. Astro is more stripped down. It is a island architecture and uses pure static HTML output. That's also the secret of PhantomWP. The download of traditional builders is not to be found right here. So let's have a look into PhantomWP. When you first log in, you will get greeted with a GitHub account. You need to connect or create one if you haven't. Creating one is just as easy as any sign-up process, so I will know for sure that you can get by just fine. Then you click the Connect GitHub account, and then you successfully connect your GitHub to PhantomWP. You get greeted with this happy-looking ghost, and you can create your first headless site. So I will call this my first Astro site. You can pick between a starter or minimal starter. I like to use minimal starter, and by default it's using Tailwind, so there is some styling, although it says that there's no styling there. I like to use my own custom classes and only the things that I need instead of a lot of options. Then you can hit create and launch, and in 3 minutes it will launch your repository. That makes that we have plenty of time to talk about other things for PhantomWP. For instance, if you want to learn more, you can go to Learn, and you have a guided way of checking out how you can set up everything and how it works. There's also a lot of documentation, a roadmap available that helps you to understand what they are working on, and a releases page right here. As you can see, even today there's some updates done. Do note that this is still in beta or beta. It's going to be better. So know that when you're using this, you can find little bugs or hiccups. Lastly, it's good to know that PhantomWP is not just coded by a random developer. It's coded by the person that also has coded WP code bugs. If you don't know, WP Codebox, it's a code snippets plugin that allows you to create code snippets. And what I really like about it is that you can remove WP Codebox and create a plugin from all the code snippets that you have made. Now, there's also a Facebook group from PhantomWP community. If you go into Facebook, you can find it easily. And here's the maker of this tool. I can call him Ovi, and he has shown in a live stream how you can set up a mega menu. It's really interesting to see. So you know that he is also very active in the community, showing what the tool can do. So you're not only guessing, he's also showing and teaching. Now we have 47 seconds left, so let's get a sip of my drink. It's, by the way, not seaweed or anything, it's thyme. And you know what that means. It's time for tea. So delicious. What's your favorite drink? Is it tea or is it something different? Tea and biscuits? 3, 2, 1, launch. It's loading our code space, and this is what you get greeted with if you're first starting out with PhantomWP. On the right hand side, you need to press continue so you can continue in seeing your website. And if you want to see some changes already and see what's happening under the hood, you can type in home, hit save, and when you hit save, it will be updated on the right hand side. On the right hand side, you see a preview of your website. You can look at it in a responsive view. You have your code, and then you have all your folders and your files. So as you can see, there's a lot of things going on, and this one is now open. So these are pages. It is using a default setup. And one thing that will be helpful to know is that it uses something different from HTML, but also HTML together. The different thing is that it uses components. As you can see here, it says base layout. And this is a component that is imported from layouts. Now, where can we find the layouts is right here. We see that there are layouts, and then we have base layout. So the base layout has these kinds of things. And you can see that we can make some changes. Hello, or hello in Dutch. And when we hit save, you see that hello is added there. So how it works is that it uses it as a template. The slot is the definition where all the content goes into. You have the base layout, you have your content layout, and you have your page layout. And the page layout is the one that is visible right here. I don't see it imported, so it is the base layout. As you can see, you also have header, and header is then put into components folder. The components folder is right here, and here you see all your HTML of your header. Just like I said earlier, it's using Tailwind by default. And if you don't want that, now you have to remove everything. But in the future, there will be a possibility to have nothing, no Tailwind. Now that we have seen how this structure works, let's go into our toolbar at the top. We see a lot of things going on, a lot of buttons to press. So let's start from left to right. We have the save button. We can open the preview in another page, but then you still have to press the continue button, and then you see your website as well. Besides that, we can hide and show our file tree. We can hide and show the code editor. We can hide and show the preview. We can also see the page structure. When we want to move something, you can do it very easily like this. You can drag it around, and as you can see, it's now on a different place. You can also drag it right in back, and there it is. So it's just like the structure that you're used to in other page builder. Then beside that, we have the terminal. You can install Cloud, as you can see right here. You can install Cloud right away, and then it will run in your workspace, your GitHub workspace. GitHub workspace is a copy of your website, a machine on a distance, so to speak. So it's very nice that you can just one-click install it. Then you have your AI chat, which allows you to make it very easy to let AI build things. For instance, we want to create a blog listing page. It's now thinking. I haven't set up my API keys. So if you want to use that, you need to use the API keys. Then we have the section library. If you don't want to design everything yourself, you have a very good starter templates and add them whatever you want. You can then insert a component. The component will be added, and then you need to define it in here as well. So let's remove our header that we had and type in a bracket, hero radio glow, and when we hit save, There's our hero section that we just imported. It's that easy. You might be wondering, how can I make changes to the text? There are several ways. One, you can just make the changes in the text right here. But if you look in top of this file, you see there's a triple dash and then interface properties. These are properties that you can use to fill in. For instance, we have the title. Now, if we go back to our index and type in title is Hello World, hit save, you see that the title is changed. And this is what components actually do. It's a reusable, easy to read section with all kinds of properties that you can set, just like HTML attributes. Then besides that, you have the icon manager. You can insert all kinds of icons, for instance, the pointer, and with the purple button, it will be added. Then you have the token designer, where you can make changes to the default colors that are available. And if you apply theme, it will apply everywhere. Besides that, we have something very interesting. It's our WordPress REST API, just like I talk about it. Now let's spin up a example website. I'm using ZipWP, is one of my favorite tools. And if we log in and look at the sandbox sites that I already have running, I've set up a PhantomWP site. If we open it up, we can copy and paste the URL and hit fetch. It will fetch all the information from this website. And as you can see, it already detects that we have a custom post type tools and a custom post type videos. If we go in the backend, we see that there's tools and there's videos. By default, posts and pages are selected, but let's also select those. And to make it very easy for you, instead of having to create those pages, you can just hit generate Astro and let's overwrite the configuration. It now has been added. We can hit save. Then we'll close. And now it's hooked up. As you can see in pages, there's a lot more added right now. We have our author, our blog, our category tag, and tools. If you look inside of tool, you have the index, which is the overview of the page, and we have the slug, which is the page itself. Now you see all of kind of gibberish going around right here. And these are all needed to import data from WordPress into your website. These are things like getting the custom post types, have a 404 ready, and fetch the SEO plugin like SEO data or SEO description or image. And everything is set right here. This is a very easy way to get your website working. And as you can see, we have the Gutenberg core right here in our tools section. If we go into tools, we see that we have Gutenberg core. We have a description, title, and some information in here. Title, description, which is the same. And if we click on the section, you see that says Hello World. If we change this to subscribe, please. If you haven't already and you found this interesting, please do so. And we hit refresh. Let's go back to our tools and go inside here. And so now says subscribe, please. Now, besides that, you have the SEO settings. You have your default site name, your URL, default meta description, and that sort of things for your SEO optimization. You have a menu builder. It gets everything that's available and allows you to create everything inside of your main menu. As you can see, it's already added the things that are available. Then we have a media manager. I don't have any media right now, but you can just add it. Then we can see our version history, what has been done in the past. Here we can see the changes that have been done right now. And if you want to see this live, you need to push commit. It will then get into your GitHub system. Let me show you what actually changes. If you log into your GitHub account, you see that this is the repository available right now. If you click on that, you go into source and then pages. You see that we only have the 404 and index Astro. But if you look into PhantomWP, there's a lot of more things inside of pages. So what you need to do is hit commit, give a commit message. A proper commit message is always welcome. In this case, we can just say connecting WordPress. We commit and push. It will push and commit everything. And if we reload this website, you see that the pages are added. Now, when you do these kinds of things in a normal IDE, it's very tedious to set up. There's a lot of steps that you need to take before everything is ready. And PhantomWP just makes that easy. You have to manually connect everything. You have to have a tool to push a commit or know how to use the Git repo yourself. The setting up, we did for the page was very fast, instead of you needing to define everything that you want to import. Now, the next step is getting this website live. We can do that by set up a deploy. The first step that we need to do is create a token in Vercel. So let's add a new one, PhantomWP. Let's add a scope of only my own projects, and we just want it to be live one day. Also note that Vercel setting up an account is very easy. Just follow the steps and you will get there. Then you hit create, copy the token, paste it in right here, and hit next. It will set up the deployment, but it failed because we need to connect our GitHub. So we press the button, it connects to GitHub. And as you can see, it's now connected to my Techies Reviews GitHub repository. When you've done that, you need to go in here and hit /new. And then in here, import Git repository you need to install. In there, we can select all repositories and then hit install. And there we go. We have our Astro website. Then we go back into PhantomWP and hit try again. And now our website has been deployed. Now you see that it's already building our website. And in just a few minutes, we have our website live. Next to that, we have the PWA settings. We can browse our WordPress content. So what kind of posts are in there? What kind of tools are in there? We see that there's the good work, and we have the fields available right here. We have some code examples on how we can use it. We can open our GitHub repo, the code space, open it in VS Code, send feedback, and learn the basics of Astro. Then we have the services that are running right now. We have the toolbar that gives some information on what we just discussed. And then we go back to the dashboard. As you can see, in the meantime, it's now live. And we can view our live website. And there we go. There's our first website live, trusted by 10,000 developers. Let's see what the page speed is for this. So you go into your live, hit manage domains, and you can see your Vercel domain. You can just copy it. Let's go to your favorite page speed tool, hit the website, hit analyze. It hits 100 without us having done anything. It's just that fast out of the box. And on desktop, it also hits 100. And as you can see, it's really fast when clicking through it. You have your subscribe, please. You have your videos. We have everything that we have set up. Now, what I really like about PhantomWP over using your IDE is those little tweaks and things you can do without you having to think about it, right? Setting up and importing the pages from WordPress and just importing them. The easy commit to GitHub, the easy deploy to Vercel, and then having such a fast speed. But there's also downsides. You cannot use any plugins that you're used to using. If you want a community or a forum plugin, it doesn't work out of the box. So you need something to be set up in PhantomWP or create it yourself from scratch. So if you're using those, you might want to consider different kind of tools or using WordPress by default. Now, you might be wondering, are you better off using Bricks or Edge WP or something like this, like Astro? It all depends on your way of working. Do you like it or don't you like to do something like this? The advantage of this is that it is a static website. So if your WordPress website is down due to a plugin or something else breaking, your website can still run because the data of your text and that sort of things is not coming from WordPress. Also, integration with AI is a very easy to use thing. And security-wise, you can completely block out your WordPress website. You can just say that you can only log in via WP admin and do something like the zero trust thing on Cloudflare, that nobody can get access to it except for your Astro frontend or you yourself. It can also be a steep learning curve for non-developers. So if you're hesitant to use code, you can try it out, but you can also start with something simpler, like using CodePen, or maybe you could consider Edge if you don't want to move outside of the WordPress monolith, as it's called. So what do you think? Is this a Elementor or Bricks killer? I don't think so. It has great performance, but it has a different use case. And if you want to try out PhantomWP, there will be a link in the description down below. And let me know in the comments, does this PhantomWP finally get you to go headless? Or are you still afraid of it? If you want to see my first setup, then watch this live stream next. I had a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, you can just go and click it. There's nothing else to see here right now. So yeah, click, 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 click. Or not. Oh, you're waiting for the end of the screen. All right, this is it. Thank you for watching. And as always, keep designing.